everybody ready? Yeah! All right, now here we go. A one, a two, a one,
Let's get it on. We back, baby. Brandon, Jordan, Cody here. It's the Get Sunday Covered podcast, Wednesday, November 13th. Today, we're talking who's the worst team in the league? Is it the Jags? Is it the Bears? Is it the Cowboys or the Jets? We're going to take a deep dive into the GSC league standings. And of course, we're going to cover our games of the week. Brandon and Jordan, it's really good to see you guys. Have you guys ever been to Germany?
No, I have not.
I don't know.
Would love to go though.
I was-
I mean, there's definitely some places in Germany that are definitely on my list of places to go for sure.
Watching the Sunday morning game, it looked pretty lit.
Yeah, they got pretty excited for NFL there, which is cool. Like it's cool because obviously, just like most European countries, it's soccer's their main first sport love. Obviously, it was played in a soccer stadium. Um, I was in Germany one. I don't know if it counts. I was in a layover in Frankfurt in the airport when I played hockey over in Europe for like 2 months in high school. I got selected to a team and we went and played in Russia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland. So we just had a layover in Frankfurt from DIA to Germany and then Germany to St. Petersburg, Russia. So no, I didn't get to enjoy any beers or anything like that. So I don't think it really counts. Like you're in a layover, like you really didn't get to do anything there, you know?
So,
see anything.
did you see the size of the beers at the game?
Yeah. And like, you know, I wonder, so it's like it's NFL games. So like if you see the stadiums, like everyone, like I don't care if you have a Donovan McNabb jersey, like an Eagles, you're wearing that this weekend. Whatever NFL jersey people had, they're wearing it. I saw a Tom Brady Tampa Bay jersey there, New England Patriots Tom Brady, bunch of old jerseys and stuff like that. So I think it's one of those things the beers can get served there because if that's served at like a you know how it used to be like an Oakland San Francisco game, you're getting stabbed outside the stadium, like someone's getting stabbed. So I think maybe over there, like they probably don't get as rowdy. Like maybe if it's a soccer game, I'm sure the beers are still getting sold because they're making money on that. But I don't know, maybe it's just a little bit more casual, you know, with the fans because it's not who's a hardcore German Dolphins fan. Like can't really see too many of them over there, you know.
Yeah, like unless you came from the mainland as
Yeah,
a lifelong fan.
You reside there now.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to like convince myself that the international games are worth it, but I don't really believe they're gonna send a team over. They're not gonna have an international team. Like they're not gonna like what's the I don't know, dude. I would love to go to an NFL game in Germany. That'd be sick, but like why? You know? Panthers Giants? Okay, sure. It turned out to be a pretty decent game, but like, come on, man.
That was the Who Cares Bowl.
Kinda,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, you're
Jordan, you're throwing up the money sign.
Yeah,
with
you're
your
saying
hands
why
here.
it's the Q Johnny Manziel. They're spreading the game internationally because you make more money with more fans. We were kind of texting about this earlier. I've said this for years. Like instead of going international, let's play a game at the University of Oklahoma Stadium.
Yes.
Let's play an NFL game there. Let's play a game at the
Yes.
University of Iowa Stadium. Like let's go to some of these states
Nebraska.
where they don't have an NFL team, but they love
Yes.
football. Like I don't. If you're in Nebraska, who do you root for? Probably the Broncos or Chiefs, right? Put a Broncos Chiefs game in Nebraska. guarantee that sells out, you know? So it's like stuff
Go.
like that, like Iowa,
Pop
like
off,
what?
Jordan. Let's
Like
go. I'm so about this take.
like if you do Iowa, like you could do Kansas City and Minnesota. Like think about you're in North Dakota, South Dakota, you're probably a Minnesota fan. Nebraska, anywhere around there, you're Kansas City, you know, Missouri, Kansas City. So I don't know. I think games like that would be, but I get it why they do international. It's just the same thing with hockey when they do these to start the season games. They do them in Europe and Sweden or Finland, and it's to grow the game to get more fans involved. You have more fans, that's more people watching, more merchandise sold. It's the story of our lives. Everything comes down to money.
Yeah.
Hockey is still decently big on the European side, though.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, that's because like 40%, 45% of their players are probably more are not from here. So
A
I
lot
don't
of
know. I just Jordan, I love that take, dude. Like bring it to Iowa or Nebraska or some, middle of the country place like
field
that.
of
Like
dreams
you ever
for the
see
NFL.
absolutely, like you ever seen
Yeah.
that map of like where the teams are located and there's just that big void on like the north central area of the United States? Like, come on, man.
Like Montana
Just do
has
it.
nothing. Throw a game out in Montana, like maybe that one doesn't sell out, but
I think Montana likes it that way, though.
you
I've
know,
never been
like
to well, I've been to Montana once, but like, I think they like it that way. Keep them out.
like even
That's like,
like even Boise, you know, with Boise State, like man, like a Seattle Seahawks game there, you know, I
oh,
don't
play a
know.
game on the blue.
I just stuff like that. I just think like college atmospheres are so much different than NFL, and maybe that's NFL. They're worried about that. I don't know, but like I said, I get it. It comes down to money, but I just think it'd be cool as a fan. I'm not saying I'm going. I'm not paying $500 to go see one of these games. Like I'm gonna sit on my couch and watch it and enjoy it and think it's super
Yeah,
cool, which it would
$500 would
be.
be your ticket price, not including flight and where you're
Yeah,
staying and whatever you're
exactly.
doing. Right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking just for tickets. So, you know, I don't know. It's just something like the NFL. Like if you think about other sports, like the NHL does the outdoor game and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just stuff to implement. You know, and they're not going overseas or doing that in Europe or anything like that. They're doing that in college stadiums, baseball stadiums, like kind of integrating everything. Like, so it'd be kind of cool. I think the NFL, like, you know, they might benefit more if they did go into a college stadium. Like, you might get more fans that you know college people are just like diehard college people, and they're like, I don't want to deal with NFL and the politics and the money and this and
Hell
that.
yeah.
So who knows? Maybe you might get more fans doing that, but maybe one day we'll see it be something cool. Get Roger Goodell on here one day and ask him about it.
Yeah. I don't know that that's ever going to happen.
I hopes.
All right, boys. I got a quick question this week. This was submitted by Ryan. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Shout out Ryan. Let's go.
We'll start with this most shocking player in fantasy this season, and then most disappointing player in fantasy this season. Jordan, you want to start?
Yeah, when Ryan submitted this question, I think me and Ryan might have actually texted about this last week about, you know, him. We were just talking about stuff, just players this year. And I don't know. I thought about a couple guys like, I don't know, for shocking wise, I think because of the team he's on, that offense is I always want to call him Chuba Hubbard just because it rolls off the tongue better than Chuba Hubbard. I think what he's done for Carolina is just completely unexpected. So if you drafted this guy and what was this guy going? Probably the 10th, 11th round. If that was he maybe going higher? I don't know. I doubt
I
it.
don't even
But
know if he was getting drafted, to be honest
yeah,
with you.
so like I'm sure he was just because he was coming in as just a starting running back. If you're a starting running back, you're getting carries. But I think he's had a good year for Carolina. I think he's like the 7th running back overall in fantasy PPR. So he's had a great year for Carolina. And it's like, if anyone actually knows this dude, he went to Oklahoma State and he was a beast at Oklahoma State and ran for a
12th
bunch
round
there.
pick.
What's that?
12th round pick.
Yeah. So I was saying 10th
He
or
was
11th.
taken 13th in our league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 12th, third, later round guy that getting huge value for, and he's not on a good team. They're not putting up big numbers, so good for him and good for anyone that has him. So this is on the opposite side of the. Are we going with our most disappointing right now too, Brandon? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is on the opposite side of the spectrum here. Is this guy had a lot of hype coming in this year. I hyped. You might want to go back to one of the earlier episodes, and I hyped this guy up. I might have made a
Same.
bet or said something that
We
I
were
thought,
talking about this leading into the draft.
yeah, like that. I was hyped up about this guy. I drafted him in my league. Like I'm gonna make fun of Brandon because this is Brandon's keeper for our main GSC league was Zamir White, and I don't blame him because I drafted him eighth overall, or excuse me, eighth round in my league. Um, I knew the Raiders weren't going to be a great offense or anything, but that dude looked good last year, and I thought he was going to be the featured back. Madison was just coming in, just be a safety type guy, maybe third down and ones, goal line. But I thought Zamir White was going to be a great runner and probably even a better receiver. Maybe like Rashad White, but getting 90% of the snaps type style. But
That's my thing is I thought the Raiders were going to run the shit out of the ball, man.
yeah.
Yep.
And so for me, he's been my biggest disappointment. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I don't know if you guys ever look at the comments on Sleeper on there, but there's some good one. You want some good entertainment, just scroll through a couple players that have disappointed you lately and see how other people feel about them, and it'll make you feel better.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Dude, the comment section, I don't care what you're looking at online, whether it's fantasy football players or just random content online, comment section is way better than whatever it is that you're looking at.
People are savage.
The internet remains undefeated.
Agreed. What about
I
yours,
guess
Cody?
I'll jump in next. For me, I guess this is kind of I was kind of going back and forth about this guy as my most shocking player in fantasy because I wasn't really sure what to expect, only because I've lost faith in the system that we have in Denver. As your Broncos fan, I'm going to go with Bo Nix as the most shocking player. Listen, I watched him in college in Oregon. I thought he was a great player, but coming into the Broncos system, I didn't really know what to expect. You know what I mean? It was, Russ's last year in Denver wasn't really a horrible one, but there just seemed to be so much disconnection with the coach and the offensive coordinator and everything that was going on there. And I think he looks great, man. He's worked himself into, I don't want to say top 10, maybe top 12, top 15 at least fantasy quarterback consistently, which I can appreciate. And I think he really has a bright future ahead of him. If you're streaming Bo Nix on some of these weeks that he's had, like that's a game changer for you. So I am shocked by that, especially, you know, with, the absence of Jerry Judy, and then you've got Cortland Sutton, and who else has offensive weapons? Like four different running backs and a couple of rookies at wide receiver. I think he's done a great job, and I think he's going to continue to do a great job. And I look forward to seeing more games of Bo Nix, man. Nix the fix. I'm all about it. As far as most disappointing player, this might be low hanging fruit for some people, but I'm going Aaron Rodgers here, man. I picked the Jets last week. I thought he might, keep the Jets train rolling after the win against the Texans. I liked it coming into Arizona. And man, after just, watching it, he's not the same Aaron Rodgers that he used to be. And I think we need to stop kidding ourselves that he has a chance to become that again. He's just not going to be. He doesn't see the field the same way. He doesn't move the same way. He's not throwing, you know, as accurately or as consistently as he used to. He's just not the same guy. And I think, as far as fantasy goes, I think there was a lot of expectations with especially Garrett Wilson, but then you're adding Devonte Adams and things of that nature. It's just been a giant disappointment in my mind, man. Aaron Rodgers, you're done, bud. You're going to come back next year and you're going to disappoint people again.
I Yeah. I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you on Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't look good, dude. He's done. I just like my biggest thing with Aaron Rodgers, like great quarterback, like, but what he's played 17 years, been to one Super Bowl, won one Super Bowl. Like that's what's the difference between him and Dan Marino? Dan Marino went to one and lost one. And Dan Marino's not looked in the same eyes as Aaron Rodgers. Like Dan Marino had all these records before all these quarterbacks broke them, you know. So I don't know. I just look at it. Yeah, he's a great quarterback, but it's rough to watch. And yeah, I'm excited for Bo Nix and Broncos next year. I've been in Colorado long enough. I do like the Broncos. I always hope they do good. So I'm excited for Nix. Maybe that's what Sean Payton needed was someone that didn't try to fight him like Russ and wanted to be molded and play his style. And
He's got such like an incognito swagger to him, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I think the kid knows he's going to be good. And I think if they continue where they're going, he's set up for success, honestly. Like I said, nix the fix, dude. I'm about it.
I like it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we got running backs, we got quarterbacks done. I'm gonna take it over to the wide receiver room. Most shocking, I would say, this year is going to be Darnell Mooney. Um, just been absolute stud. I mean, even with Drake London there, they have two top 10 wide receivers, and Mooney's just been killing it. In terms of most disappointing, I'm going to go with the guy that complained about wanting to get a contract all off season, and then he only had one game this season before getting injured of double digits. I'm gonna go with Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
no, I like both of those. I picked up Mooney pretty early off of free agency. Worked out good. I was able to trade him just because I was pretty deep at the wide receiver position and was able to get a him pretty much for Kenneth Walker. So I felt like it was a fair trade on both sides. I feel like Darnell Mooney's always been pretty decent, but he was just kind of stuck in Chicago there. No offense to Fields, but Fields is, more of a runner than he is a passer. But I feel like Kirk Cousins, he's most of the time, dude puts up great numbers. He's throwing for over 300 yards most games, usually two TDs. Um, so I think Mooney's, maybe his favorite target. Him and London, I think they have a good 1-2 there with Kyle Pitts. Surprising they lost to the Saints like that. I think that was sorry 7. I think that was one of those games where it's like rah rah for the coach. Like new coach is in, like let's win one for him, and then they're gonna get stomped this weekend. So, but Brandon Ayuk, same thing. Yeah, like I always hate that players wanting money and this and that, and it's that dude came out, and I remember the first couple games had multiple drops, like balls hitting him in the hand. It's like I don't know. So yeah, I agree with all these. These are I think most anyone that has any of these guys on their teams for the good or the bad could probably agree with us in one way or another. So
I I'm gonna jump in on the Ayuk side of this situation. I agree, Brandon. I like this pick and take the injury part out of this. He
He did nothing.
just
Like I said, he has
he
one
he
game
wasn't a
in
functioning
double digits this whole season.
wasn't
One.
yeah, he
fantasy
wasn't a
relevant.
functioning part of this office or offense. Like had he not gotten injured, we'd be talking about the same player, in my opinion. So that's I love maybe that's a weird way to say it. I don't love it, but it's been encouraging to see how Ayuk going down has opened the door for guys like Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall and things like that. Like the offense is a high powered offense. Like Kyle Shanahan knows what's up. Like he knows how to move the ball and he knows how to get people targets and things like that. And Ayuk just wasn't there. And I agree, man. I rode Ayuk all season last year, and he hooked it up fat. Like I was all about it having him on my team. This year, glad I didn't have shares of it. So, yeah, and the Mooney take about it. Atlanta about it. I agree, Jordan. I am a little shocked that they lost, but like this offense is going to be fine, and I think Mooney, man, like Drake London, sit down. It's the Mooney show.
Yeah.
Show me the Mooney, if you will.
Good one.
Thanks.
Well, speaking of like teams that are doing good, we're gonna talk about some teams that are not doing so good. So if you're a fan of the Chicago Bears, the Dallas Cowboys, or the Jets, you can't feel good. Every year, Dallas is America's team. So that's like they're hyped up every year for what? To do
You have
nothing.
to change that.
They're not going to do anything till Jerry Jones dies. So they're fine and tied up with Dak Prescott and CD Lamb. The Jets, man, they're just I don't even know what to blame it on. Like, is it the organization at this point? Like, they haven't been good since Mark Sanchez. How's that even possible?
They still weren't good with Mark Sanchez.
Hey, Mark Sanchez brought him to back-to-back AFC championship games.
I'll give him that.
He did more
He
than
got him into the playoffs.
any other quarterback has done since them. And the Chicago Bears, this should be the actual question for anyone who's listening. Like, put a comment in. Who is the Chicago Bears' best quarterback of all time, in your opinion? I don't want to hear Jim McMahon. The defense won that. Like, one of us could have gone out there and probably won with that defense. Who's their best wide receiver? You guys think of a great wide receiver for the Chicago Bears? No, because they've never had a quarterback throw for over 30 touchdowns. The only franchise in the NFL. But they're one of the oldest ones. Isn't that embarrassing? Like, how are you a fan of these teams? Like, someone's got to be a fan of losers, dude. Detroit fans for that long. Now they're looking good. How do you guys feel about this?
I mean, wide receiver for the Bears, I think Hester, but he was mainly more known for return.
Oh, dude, the kick return Hester. That, yeah.
But no, wide receivers like Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey. Like,
that's what went through my head. Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall was a Bronco first, so
yes, he was.
I don't know. Like at least Chicago had the Bulls, right? They had their run with the championships. Like, I don't know, like they made some changes with their coaching staff, and maybe that's got some new horizons coming up, I guess. Like changing an offensive system mid-season, like maybe there's some hope there. I think it's going to be tough. I do think Caleb Williams has at least a glimmer of hope in his future. I think he's a decent enough quarterback. But we talked about this early in the season. Like, I don't think he's as good as Jaden Daniels, and I don't know. I look at these three teams that you listed, the Bears, the Cowboys, and the Jets, and it's consistently over the last, I guess you could probably group the Broncos in there too, but bad, poor decisions, poor drafting, like poor quarterback play.
You could also look at the Giants in this too, letting Saquon walk.
I was thinking the same thing when you talked about, the Jets and the Giants. Like, maybe the organization is just fucked, because like these guys that are on these teams, they're all elite athletes. You know what I mean? Like they're in the NFL for a reason. But if you don't have like that foundation around them, which clearly the Cowboys, like you said, nothing's gonna happen until Jerry Jones
Nice.
steps down, man. Like, so did you see the whole thing? Obviously, I'm hoping at this point everybody has seen the thing with CD Lamb. He like didn't even see the ball coming to him because the sun was in his eyes.
Sun in the stadium, yeah.
And he made the comment, and Jerry Jones just like, "Oh, let's just tear down the stadium. Why don't we?" All right, dude, calm down. That stadium is fully equipped to put up curtains because they put up curtains for all of the concerts and shit that they have there.
Yeah, to black it out.
It's not that hard, bro. Like, he doesn't care about anything except for making money.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants the team to be seen. He wants to sell jerseys and he wants to be popular. It doesn't matter if they win a Super Bowl. Who gives a shit? Super Bowls make some money, sure, but it's all this other stuff that makes more money. And I think, yeah, to your point, until there's a breakdown of the foundation of these organizations, nothing's going to change, man.
I mean, really, it could be like these are some of the worst teams since the year 2000, is what this could have started as for these three teams, because they really haven't done much. Like the Jets are the only one. I guess the Bears went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. Like that just hurts to say. That defense was how, and Devin Hester.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you're a fan of either any of these teams, it ain't good. Like you probably just can't be feeling good. I'd say the Bears probably had the biggest upside. But it's the Bears, man. Like something with quarterbacks there. It's just like you can't be a quarterback in Chicago and be good. Like you just have to die there to be like famous. Like just go out on the field and give your body. Like that's the only way people are remembering you there. So I don't know. It's tough for all those teams, but we'll see. But hoping for a turnaround.
I feel like you could loop in a couple other teams with this, like as far as who's the worst. I feel like the pool of bad teams is much more saturated than the pool of good teams, for sure.
Giants are for sure on the bottom of
Giants,
my list.
Jags, like Browns,
Titans.
I guess these three teams is because they were mainly talked about more than any other teams this year. Chicago because of Caleb Williams, Cowboys the year they had last
because
year.
of all the fucking money they spent.
All the hype, and the Jets, like you already talked about earlier with Aaron Rodgers, with all the weapons he has around him, and they're 3-7. Is that right? 3-6, 3-7. Like, it's just garbage. But on the other side of it, we have a team that somehow is 9-0.
Sick of it.
Cody, I think wrote it up as some Chiefs devil magic. Some I don't know if there's. I don't have any conspiracy behind
Taylor
their
Swift
success. Like
he's a witch.
If we're throwing it out there, like you want to talk about money and bringing fans, put Taylor Swift. Like this team's 9-0. Let us get them back to the Super Bowl. Let's get them to win the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift fans, because Kelsey jerseys are going to sell and Chiefs jerseys are going to sell. People are going to pay attention to the NFL.
I'm gonna fucking throw up, dude. Honestly, like, I'm upset. I'll just be full transparent. Like that loss this weekend as a Broncos fan, it bothered me a lot. That's a 1 in a million situation that happened. Maybe a million's a stretch, but like
1 in 100.
I'd say 1 in 100.
Fine, that's fine. There's no reason that should have ever happened. We had them. How does this keep working out from them? 9-0, and they're trash, dude. And they're gonna go back to the Super Bowl. They're gonna win the fucking Super Bowl.
They're not getting back to the Super Bowl. Baltimore is going to steamroll them in the playoffs.
I agree with you. Yes,
we'll see.
I think you're right. But this is insane to me. I don't know how this has happened so far. Look at the games that they played so far. 9-0. Explain to me how without saying it's devil magic. Yeah, exactly. That's that. Like how, dude? It just keeps happening. And I just there's so like obviously the internet is in an uproar about the officials and the missed calls and blah blah blah. Okay, like that's fine. I'll buy into it. I'll clap for that. That's whatever because I hate the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs.
Well,
I'm done with it.
Did you hear the
But it happens in every. It happens in every game. I did. Yeah. Oh yeah. What was it he said, Brandon? He was like,
"Let me know when they get close to me," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Can you tell me when he's close? Like,
but it's that type of shit where I'm like, I've said it before on this podcast. I'm a sucker for a good conspiracy theory, man. But like, how? How? If you look at the blocked field goal, the dude that got bowled over, I don't even know his name. I didn't even want to look it up. I don't care. It looked like he didn't even move. He was ready to just get pushed onto his fucking back. One of our old members from GSC, the main league, probably I don't know 6 years ago at this point. Shout out Cray if you're listening. Said sports betting has ruined professional sports. Hope you're all happy. I don't know, man. That's a conspiracy theory I'll buy into. There is,
I I
I,
believe that.
dude, the amount of people that put money on the Chiefs to win this weekend. I'm not saying that's what happened, man. I'm just saying what, 37 yards
Yeah.
field goal? Come on, man. That's routine shit. You do it every week, you do it every day in practice. Come on.
It's
How?
one of those old sayings, like uh, kind of a hockey saying, but it can be a football saying. They don't ask how, it's how many.
And
No
that's
one's
the
gonna remember
thing.
this game. So when the Chiefs, whatever, finish at 14-3, whatever they're gonna finish at, who knows? Like, no one's
Nobody's
gonna
gonna give a
remember this
shit.
game against this Broncos. Like,
Yep.
win's a win, and that's the way they're looking at it. The Broncos are obviously a huge letdown for them. Chiefs are excited to win the game like that. It's another win for them, and they're moving on next week. And I don't know. We'll see. They're going into Buffalo. It's ending this week.
Jordan,
It's this week.
it's driving me insane, dude. It is driving me absolutely insane because with a minute to go in that game, I'm sitting here like,
Excited.
let's go. Let's go fucking Broncos, dude. This is great. The 8-0 Chiefs are going to go 8-1 because of the Broncos. It's a rivalry game. Bo Nix played his ass off. Like, I feel like we exposed the Chiefs. I really do. And then, of course, like, oh yeah, kind of forgot that we were playing the Chiefs and shit like this constantly happens. Happened against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Tired of it, dude. I'm tired. Stop laughing at me, Brandon. I'm tired of it. I'm so sick of it, dude. Like, listen,
I love it.
I obviously this is not as long run as the Patriots were, but I am in the same boat with the Chiefs that I was with the Patriots when Tom Brady was just dominating everyone. I'm over it.
Well,
Haters gonna hate, man. I'm
yeah.
not
I like it.
ashamed. I'm not
Valid.
ashamed.
Hey, it's completely valid. Um, let's just do. I want to do a little bit of a deep dive this week in terms of some of the leagues within the fantasy club. We'll start with the main, GSC main. We know there is a team that's 1-9, and they are on a 9-game skid to the bottom of the standings. That team is Whitney. Whitney, I am sorry to tell you, but I think your season is officially done. Only thing you can maybe do is try and trade, get maybe draft picks for next year or something, because right now, bye. Stefan, 7. Y'all are 1 game out of playoffs. Steven is on the bubble. And then Cody, yourself, me, and
Seamus, I believe.
Seamus, yes, thank you, are all 6-4, 2 games at least, kind of 2 game buffer for not for being on the bubble for playoffs. And then Jordan, you're obviously 7-3, and then we have Joe at 8-2. Cody, you and Stefan's matchup this week was pretty solid.
Dude.
You guys both had 6 of the top 10 scores, and you guys both had 100% on your start sits for the week. I feel bad for Stefan. You know,
Fuck you.
he was the second highest scorer this week and he takes the L. I
Yep.
know the name of the
Good.
game. That was me before
Good.
all of last year, so I definitely understand. But um
Dude, it was a wild matchup. Like this was one of those matchups that's just like full anxiety the whole day. It was going into Monday night, dude. I had what, like a 30-point buffer,
Yeah, against Kyron Williams.
yep,
and I texted you, Brandon. I
yeah.
said nothing surprises me anymore. There's no way
It,
I'm confident about winning this matchup until it's absolutely done. Because this was nuts. Literally, like, started off Thursday night, Joe Burrow, Mark Andrews, easy 50 points. Let's go. I'm feeling good. I'm watching throughout the weekend. Kyler Murray goes off. Freaking Calvin Ridley
Had a game back
with
second half of that game.
Will Levis, garbage time touchdown to give him an extra 6. Okay, that's great. AJ Brown, yep, easy 16 points. Here we go. And he's just keeping it right there. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, dude. I'm putting up 170 points and I'm still at risk at losing. I loved it. It was awesome. Shout out Stefan. Great game, man. But it was making me sick and nervous. I'm not gonna lie. What about you guys? I was watching your games. Brandon, yours was pretty close, man.
yeah, mine was really came down to Sunday night football. I was up like 20 or like I was up by like 12 or 13 going into Sunday night football and he had the Lions D and I had Tank Dell. So um I mean, I felt good going into Sunday night. I didn't really think much of it. Just happy to get a win this week and, move forward. Um a win's a win, and I have, like I said earlier, I have that 2 game buffer for being on the bubble for playoffs. So I will gladly take that, and I will gladly thank you, Cody, for beating Stefan this week to give us that 2 game buffer for both of us.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, how you
Jordan,
feeling about
yours
your
was a bit
team?
of a layup.
What's that, Cody?
I said yours was a bit of a layup. It was closer
Yeah,
than expected, but
yeah, and I mean, and I even look at my team. Like Jefferson had his worst game of the season. Like Zay Flowers, like 7 points. I had 1 catch from Hunter Henry, 2 points. Lamar Jackson really came up big for me. I needed Nakua to get 2 points on Monday night, and I was worried the way that game started. I was like, is this going to be one of those games where it's just
that game
like
was brutal.
you just shut down constantly? And comes back to, I don't know. Yeah, my team feels good. That Monday night game though was like you just can't win on field goals constantly every time. Go for it one time. Like I don't know. So I feel good about my team. I'm not feeling. I wish I just would have dropped DJ Moore a long time ago because I don't think that's going to turn around. So, but I feel good about my team overall.
Real quick, while we're talking about your team, are you gonna roll with Hunter Henry or do you want to trade for Brock Bowers?
I would absolutely trade for Brock Bowers.
Text me.
What is he giving you for Brock Bowers is the better question.
DJ Moore.
I don't have DJ Moore. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. I have DJ Moore. He's on my bench.
You're keeping
you're
Andrews
saying
over
you're gonna give
or
me
Bowers.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Pass.
I don't know. We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look here. Give me Justin Jefferson.
That's almost fair.
No, it's not. Well, yeah, I mean, after this week it might be, but
No.
you do need a tight end. Let's talk, homie.
There's tight ends on free agency that
Cody,
only
you do
go.
need a running back,
there's not.
by the way. So I shot you that text yesterday.
Yeah. Hey, you guys seen a lot of trades in your leagues? Because GSC's been popping off. We've seen a lot of trades.
Yeah, there was
Um,
probably. Go ahead, Brandon.
yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple, but not like GSE. GSE this year is a lot of trades versus previous seasons. In terms of my other leagues, not really. Our dynasty had a few, but not a crazy substantial amount, I'd say.
I got a guy in Dynasty that's trying to fleece the shit out of me right now. So, but it's cool.
Yeah,
Like I love this time of year. Like we're getting down to it. A lot of trade deadlines in your fantasy leagues are either here now or coming up, hopefully very soon. Ours, just addressing GSE main. Ours is next week, by the way. So if you're trying to get some moves done right now, this is the time. But I like it. There's a lot of action. We're getting to the point now where like the sustainable players from the waiver wire are pretty much all rostered at this point. I think people are trying to make moves for handcuffs. I know I've tried to make a couple, but dude, I love it. It's starting to feel like kind of frantic in the leagues, and I love that. It's we're still a month away or more from where it actually means something, but that like anxiety of making sure your team is set for that time is really starting to set in.
I think within at least GSC, people need to really. I think just looking at least. I mean, I looked ahead to week 12. There are a ton of good teams on buys in week 12. So if you're trying to make any moves, I know I'm already starting. Like I said, I hit up Cody today or yesterday about it, and I mean, I'd look at your roster because week 12, Jordan, I play you in week 12, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens between now and then. But I mean, I know
is
for
that
me,
Jordan's not nervous.
Baltimore's on the bye that week, right?
Baltimore. So you have no, not Baltimore.
Or
Um,
14, week 14, I think.
Week 14, you have New Orleans, Atlanta, Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Jets, Jacksonville. Like I think you have like 6 teams on by that week.
Yeah, there's no one on my team on a bye then.
Yeah, but I know definitely people are looking for that week. I know that's probably the toughest week for a lot of players. So look ahead at week 12, see if you can get any moves to at least put together a viable team. Because I know people are going to be kind of scouring to fill week 12 and trade a player if someone's available.
I feel like in 10 team and like smaller than 12 team leagues, these bye weeks are gonna fuck up standings. I really do. Like if you've got like we'll go through them here real quick after this, but we look at some of these leagues that we're in, and there's three or four, and even 5 teams that have the same record. If you've got 4 players on a bye in week 12 or 14, one game difference, man, could literally be the difference between being in the playoffs and not.
Make or break.
Definitely consider that.
Yeah, and with speaking of that, Cody, why don't you just kind of touch base on you're running the Pacific Northwest? Why don't you just kind of touch base on how things are going there?
You know how humbled I've been in my household recently? My wife is running this damn league. Shout out Kenzie. She is 9-1, and she's doing a good job. She's making moves. She's being active, and she seems pretty untouchable right now. She's again 9-1, separating herself from the rest of the league. Second place is 6-4.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So
So
she
she's
is
pretty much solidified that then.
basically fully set. She's getting in. We've got 2, 3, 4, and 5 sitting at 6 and 4, and on the bubble is at 5 and 4 with, excuse me, yeah, 5, 4, and 1. Didn't realize. I'll have to check on that. But
Yeah, someone
3
tied.
teams after her that are 1 game behind. So again, pretty competitive. I'm loving it. It's a lot of fun. Just a couple of teams there at the bottom, a couple of 2 and 8 players that have basically conceded the season, which at this point I understand it. You know, you just got to play spoiler at this point. But shout out Kinsey, man. She's crushing it. And I told her I gave her a quick little warning. I said, hey, maybe I don't wish to alarm you and I love you, but I need you to understand. And if you win this, you have to play in the Champions League next year. So she was like, don't worry about it. I got this. I'm like, God damn it. All right.
Confidence.
Well,
Love it.
unfazed, man. Just totally unfazed.
Awesome.
I love it. Well, we'll jump into a couple leagues that we're separate from. Nor'easter, looks like there were 3 teams, 7 and 3 in that league. Or actually, I guess I'm in this league. There's 3 teams in the Nor'easter at 7 and 3. Outside of them, looked like you had 2 teams at 5 and 5, and then 2 teams at 4 and 6, with 1 team 1 and 9. Only an 8-team league, so everyone makes playoffs in this. So really doesn't matter, but it's really anyone's game in that. In terms of the Midwest, you have 1 team. Shout out War Bandit at 8 and 2. Then you had Yodi K at 7 and 3, and McMean and Jack Carricker at 6 and 4. Then you have 4 teams at 5 and 5, and 3 teams at 4 and 6. So really competitive in that one. In terms of the East, 1 team 7 and 3, 3 teams at 6 and 4, 2 teams at 5 and 5, and then 3 teams at 4 and 6. So, pretty competitive throughout all these leagues, where you're going to have those teams right on the bubble. So some vital games coming down the close. We'll jump over to the Mountain West. Mountain West, you have shout out M14 Robinson at 9 and 1, the only other 9 and 1 team besides Kinsey that I'm aware of within the whole entire club. And then you have 3 teams at 6 and 4, 3 teams at 5 and 5, and then 4 teams at 4 and 6, with only 6 teams getting into the playoffs. So that's going to be pretty competitive in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
And then within Dynasty, you have 3 teams at 7 and 3, 2 teams at 6 and 4, 1 team at 5 and 5, and then another 4 teams at 4 and 6. So pretty competitive throughout all these leagues. Jordan, what's going on in GSC Colorado?
It's it's pretty competitive. It's got 3 teams at 6 and 4, 4 at 5 and 5, and 3 at 4 and 6. So
Back, baby.
yeah, one of these pretty much every weekend could flop the standings if your 8 teams make the playoffs. So obviously the 2 of the teams at 4 and 6 are out of the playoffs, but there's a large group here at 5 and 5, and I'm one of those that's in the 5 and 5 group. And I don't know, I'm looking to get some wins and separate myself, but it just seems to be competitive. It just, no one seems to be separating themselves. Like, no one's too high for points for or points against. So I don't know. I'm excited. Like I always tell everyone, just make the playoffs and anything could happen. You just need one pop
Hey,
off.
listen, I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn right here. I know that's kind of uncouth, but this is a prime example of why you don't give up in leagues like this. I started this league 1 and 5, and I am now in the playoff picture, 1 game ahead of the bubble and 1 game behind second place. So don't give up, guys. Like, this is just keep making moves, keep setting your roster, pay attention to shit like this. Like you're right, Jordan. This league is wild.
Yeah, everyone's pretty involved picking up guys, and been a couple trades this year. I was lucky enough to just get Joe Burrow this past week for that big game. So my two quarterbacks, I have Joe Burrow in that league and Lamar Jackson in GSC Maine. So I was excited watching that game. I really wanted it to go to overtime and try to get a couple more points, but I'll take it.
Honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited for that league. It should be a fun run to the end here, and hopefully we have a new winner this year, not Hans, but we'll see. Hans seems to pull out some magic. He's getting CMC back, and he's got Derrick Henry, and he's got a good
Yeah,
team.
Hans,
Got
I don't know
George
if you
Kittle.
listen, man, but go away.
Yeah, don't need you winning it again.
You got enough.
Well, I think it's we had some good games of the week last week. I think we got some I think
Some of
there's
us
some big
did.
there's some yeah, some of us did. But there's some big games this weekend. I'm excited. Some teams going on the road, some divisional games. I don't know. I'm excited for Ravens at Steelers this weekend. It's Steelers' first divisional game. Like they play all six of their divisional games. Like six out of their last eight or seven are all divisional. So um, I'm excited for this one. I mean, am I excited for Lamar Jackson as my fantasy QB? Probably not. Like against that defense and what they did to Jaden Daniels, they shut him down pretty good. Um,
He's the
so
MVP, man. Like you have to, you can't not be excited about him being your fantasy quarterback.
no, going against the Steelers defense, I kind of am, but I'm excited. Obviously, there's no way I'm not starting them. I'm playing them. This is a big game for both teams. Whoever wins this is leading the division. I think both these teams are good. I think the Steelers, Ravens might have been overlooking them coming into this year with their quarterback situation and everything. And I think the Steelers have shocked a lot of people, including myself. I think this is best case scenario for a Steelers fan. There's nothing to lose at this point. And the way Russ is airing it out, like Mike Williams' first game, like shout out to you got to be on the red line, Mike Williams, getting that TD in his first game with Russ. Maybe you've seen a quarterback who throws the ball to you, right? I don't know, maybe that helps, but the way George Pickens is playing, that catch he had in that game was amazing.
That
So
catch was insane.
yeah,
That was nasty.
he might have the best hands in the NFL at this point. Like he might just have the strongest hands catching a ball. Kind of like
I
Julio
agree.
Jones, like Calvin Johnson, like back in the day, stuff like that. But obviously I'm taking the Steelers, dude. I think the
I
Steelers are
love
gonna win
it.
this. I think they're gonna shut Derrick Henry down. And I think JJ Watt's getting 2, 3 sacks this game.
Really.
TJ
I don't
Watt,
know,
sorry, I
man.
don't know if I said JJ. TJ Watt.
Yeah. Well, tomato, potato, Watt is a Watt, man. They're both amazing. But I knew what you meant. And you think Derrick Henry's like over under 80 yards.
Oh, under for sure.
Under 80?
Under. Under. I think he's under 50. I think he's getting shut down.
Damn. That's I love it, man.
Steelers and Mike
Man,
Tomlin.
this is
Physical
gonna be
team.
such a it's gonna be such a great game too. And I love this pick. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it on paper, I kind of like the Steelers pick here, but I'm gonna go Ravens. I think they're on a roll. Got the MVP. I think it's gonna be a great game. And honestly, Jordan, you might have the game of the week here in all these picks, but yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens here.
I am going to agree with you there, Cody. I think I'm going to go Ravens as well. Um, at least I think the Ravens can get it done. They're playing pretty good ball right now. I think they got that rough start, and that really helped propel them forward to be the team they are now. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Brandon, who you got this week?
This week I'm going to take the Sunday night football game, I believe it is, which is going to be the Bengals at the Chargers.
I
Yes,
like it.
Sunday night football. Yep. I think this is going to be a great game. I think
How
overall,
are the Chargers 6-3 right now?
yeah.
Were is it the first team in NFL history, their first 9 games to hold a team under 20 points?
Wow,
The only
I did not know
team,
that.
the only
I
team to
didn't know
score,
that.
the only team to score 20 on them is Pittsburgh this year. But yeah,
Of course, it's Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
How
I
fitting.
mean, yeah, their defense is playing good, man. They're something about Jim Harbaugh, man. Wherever he goes, he wins, and I think he's just a good coach, and like, I think the guys are playing hard for him. And Herbert is not putting up great fantasy numbers, but I mean, he's
Herbert's
doing
been
fine.
playing decent.
Yeah,
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is what scares me about this matchup too, because as an owner of Joe Burrow and an owner of T. Higgins and some other assets of the Bengals offense, the way that the Chargers are running football games is they're keeping the ball. They're not letting you have it. They're going to
Yeah.
control the clock, and their defense is playing well, like you said, Jordan. So I don't see this being a shootout. I think it's probably like a 20-17 type of game. But I'm nervous for my Bengals defensive players in this game.
I'm starting Burrow 100%. The way he's been rolling the past like 3-4 games, like
Yeah, our
I
Burrow
mean, I'm
is
going to
just going to
start him
keep it
too,
hot.
but
Chase ain't putting up 250 yards hot. I think
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over 100 this game. Like 100 and a touchdown this game. Burrow 315, 2 touchdowns.
I got a question for you. So obviously Gus Edwards is back. Gus Bus is back. If you're a J.K. Dobbins owner, are you worried about him being back or no?
yes.
Yeah, because he had some good runs last weekend.
Yeah. Gus looks spicy to me.
And I think Harbaugh is going to
Honestly,
play him.
yeah. If I'm the Dolphins owner, I'm trying to, I don't know, maybe sell it to the Gus Edwards owner if I can. I'm trying to get away from that. For sure.
Yeah. Who are you picking then, Brandon?
I'm gonna go with I. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati needs a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. So
Cincinnati's needed a win since week 3.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna roll with Cincinnati on this one.
Cody?
Same. Yep. I'm gonna take the Bengals, man. I need the Bengals to come out here and humble the Chargers defense. I'm putting those good vibes out there, man. I gotta give it that energy. Go Bengals.
Well, I wanted to. I think I wanted to go Bengals, but since you both took them, I'm gonna go with Harbaugh and the Chargers at home. Like I don't know, like you said, man, they're controlling the ball. They don't want the other team to put up 30, 40 points on them. So I think Gus and J.K. Dobbins are going to combine for like a $150. Like they're just going to control this ball. So I'm going to go Chargers.
Vic, Brandon, you got that on record?
I do. I've been writing
Excellent.
down week to week now. I got us all tracked up. Why don't we give a quick update before we get into yours, Cody? So,
Cool.
Cody, you're back in front. Last week you got 3 games correct of the 4. Jordan, you got
No,
3
no.
games.
No, I took
Good
the
enough.
Jets last week.
I took Arizona. He took the Jets. I know that.
Correct.
So how did Cody get all 3? The Jets lost
We had 4 games last week.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
7.
7. Guess what 7 did? 7 went 4 for 4. Shout out. Good job,
That boy
7.
7.
I went 2 for 4. Cody, like I said, you and Jordan both went 3 for 4. Looking at standings, Cody, you're back 1 game ahead of both Jordan and I now with 18 out of 26. Jordan, you and I are both at 17 out of 26.
Bad, guys. That's bad.
Pretty good. Not
All
good
right,
enough.
Can't be perfect.
Not good enough. All right, guys. I'm gonna take the easy one this week. I don't understand how this is not a primetime game. I hope that everybody in America is tuning in to watch this. Go Bills. Go Josh Allen. Fuck the Chiefs. Chiefs at Bills. Give me the Bills, baby. It's going down. I think the Chiefs got exposed by the Broncos last week. They lucked into another one, but I think Andy Reid is being a little bit too conservative when it comes to the red zone. It's kicking a lot of field goals. The offense, they're the Chiefs. Mahomes is magic. He's great. But I think the Bills have a good enough defense. I think Josh Allen is playing lights out. Give me the Bills, baby. I think they're going to run it.
I'm gonna second that. I mean, there's not much else I can say when Cody's that passionate about it, but yeah, I'm taking the Bills. Fuck the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go. I mean, how do you go against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs after
I
what they've
agree.
done this year?
I agree.
Like this devil magic, like
They
Yeah,
have to lose at one point, correct?
yeah, and I think it ends in Buffalo, but
And the Bills are due, man. They're due for this. Like, the Bills deserve this win, man.
And you know damn well the Bills Mafia is going to control the
Oh my
atmosphere
God.
of
To
this
be a
fucking
Bills
game.
fan
It is
right
going
now.
to be nuts.
well, I'm gonna do it for the second one. You guys are both picking the Bills. I think I told you guys the win streak ended at 9 this week. Well, it ain't. I'm taking the Chiefs. They're going 10-0 in
10-0.
Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey,
Boo.
gotta figure out a way. It's scripted. Taylor Swift's gonna be there, so you gotta show her. You gotta have her fans get them excited. They're gonna win.
God,
Shut
Jordan
up.
couldn't just
The
have
worst.
one clean
The
sweep
worst.
across the
Yeah,
across the games
It,
this
all-
week.
The worst.
it could have been, but you got to take those gambles because if one of those teams wins, then I'm not gaining any ground. Well, I
Cody,
take
you and I are the exact same picks this week.
Nah, I'm fine with that. Go Bills. I don't care.
I'm okay with that too.
go Bills, go Bengals.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
Chargers.
Seriously, honestly, that's all I want. If I only watch one game this weekend, it's got to be Chiefs at Bills. And I hope Josh Allen runs for 2, throws for 3, and Patrick Mahomes,
Throws 5 picks.
yeah, he eats like some bad gummy worms on the sideline and gets a gut ache. And I don't know. I can't
Yes,
see it
they
anymore,
gotta-
man. I'm tired of it. I can't see it anymore.
Then you got to deal with Carson Wentz, huh?
Oh God, that might even be worse. Stefan, no, somebody texted me this weekend. Oh, Brandon, who came to our watch party, said, "Are we going to see Carson Wentz after Patrick Mahomes like faked his ankle injury or whatever?" Uh, no Carson Wentz for me, dude. He's done.
No. Just Mahomes.
Just Mahomes. All right, well, boys, that'll wrap up another episode of the Get Sunday Covered podcast. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and follow if you haven't already.
Say
But-
something. Don't be shy.
Yeah, drop some
Right.
comments. Drop some comments. We want to interact with y'all.
Yeah.
So give us some feedback. Say something.
Tell us a joke if you have to. I don't care. Say something.
Anything. But be sure to always hit us up to get your guys' Sundays covered. Till next week, we'll see you then. Peace.
Later.
Peace.